Alright, I wanted to go over the solar chimney here. You can see it doesn't have a roof on it here. If I go to that, you can see the roof. So let's look over the solar chimney real quick. If we look at the plans for the house, on the plans page is a little plan layout with the window, louver, window, window, louver, window, window. And you can read those in the window schedule. You can also go to the detail up here and it will tell you the type of roof and wall. And then you can also go to the structural, and it's telling you that there are W3s, which are 4x6s, sort of stacked on top. And again, if you go back to the detail, you can see it's basically just sitting on the roof, and there's a little detail, little rim joist there that sits on. So that's how it works. So what you're going to need to do is first off come in and create a couple of levels. So the level for the bottom of the roof, and then the level for the bottom of the sill, right? So those guys right there, bottom of sill, bottom of roof. And then I would recommend going into maybe your top of plate plan. And then what you'll do is come in here, and let me go ahead and delete it so I can remake it. Just pull this, delete all that stuff. And go to your top of plate, and the first thing you're going to do is put the wall in. So if you go to wall, you'll need to make a SIPS 5.5-inch wall. If you don't have one, I have one here. And then I'm just going to set this to finished face interior for the pick point. And then I can just go do a rectangle and come and pick right here, right, and then come down and pick right here on the walls that we created already, and you get that guy. And then let's look at it in 3D. Right there it is. And then go ahead and I would pick it because I didn't set them beforehand, and we want the base constraint to be I think the top of plate is okay for right now. We'll take a look in a minute, and then we will look at this wants to be the bottom of roof, right? So it's a little high right now. I think we'll have to figure out, we'll have to go in and move the bottom to the bottom of the roof, but for right now that's okay. And then if I go to my top of plate again, I can go in and put in the windows, and for the windows I'm just using storefront windows, storefront walls. And so if I go to the wall command here, wall architectural, and I go to the pull down again, what you're going to want to do is create, so you can start with the storefront generic white, but you want to create one that is like this one that I've created. So if I click on this guy and I come in and I'll just pick this guy and I'll draw 3'8", right there, and whoops. And then if I go to my 3D view and let's look at that guy, it's a little, we want the top of it to go, we want the base constraint to be bottom of sill and the top of it to be bottom of roof, right? And then if we look at the settings for this, all I've done is I took the original storefront generic white, duplicated it, made one, renamed it to above, and I removed the vertical and horizontal grid and just put none and none, so it doesn't have any grid lines in it. That's all I did. And then let's see, the next thing you want to do, you want to create the louvered windows, which are also created by the let's see, let's go to parapet. Let's see, I'm looking for a place where I can actually see the windows, because top of plate is not that. How about top of parapet? Nope. We'll just stick with top of plate for right now, and I'll just put it in wireframe. Let's see if we can see it. Yeah, so there's actually we're looking at the door, so I want to be able to see that window. Let's push the let's push the view range up to 5 feet. So if I go to 5 there, hit apply so we can see it, and let's see if I go to hidden line, if I can see that in hidden line too. Yeah, so that'll work. And for those, if I go, we also are going to use the curtain walls. So I'll come in and pick, I've created one, so I'll show you what that looks like, the Storefront generic louver, and I'll come in and put this guy in, right? And let's go to 3D and set it up correctly. So here it is, and I'm just going to set that to bottom of sill, and this guy to bottom of roof, right? So it'll pop up there. And the way that this is made is if I pick this and go to edit type, you just duplicate the original, probably the window that I just made, and you turn on the horizontal grid to fixed number. And then for these mullions don't matter for the verticals because it's turned off, but for the horizontal interior mullion, you make a 1/4 inch by 7 inch rectangular white mullion and apply it right here. So if I hit cancel there, to create that mullion, you scroll down to your curtain wall mullions, right? So if I come in and open the curtain wall mullions, and you get the rectangular main. You can start from any of the rectangular ones, so I'll just start from the 1.5 by 2.5 inch white one. I'll double click on it and duplicate it, and I'm just going to name this one louver. Oops, louver, or I'll name it thin, right? Thin, and then click OK. And then what you want to do is set the thickness to 1/4 of an inch, because we only want it to be a 1/4 of an inch thick. And then you can set this, I guess I set it to 7, so it splits it in half. So I'll just do 3.5 here and 3.5 here. And click OK, right? And now I've created that louver. I can come in and pick the new version that I've made. Pretend this one does not have the louvers in it yet, and you just go to edit type and you turn on the horizontal grid and set that really thin mullion to the interior type right there, and that's what you'll get. The other thing that you can do is, if I come in and look at the one that's on here, which is the 0.25 by 7 mullion, if you double click on that, you can come and actually rotate it. So I have this rotated at 45. If I rotate it at 90, right, it's completely open, and then 45, obviously rotated down to halfway closed. So that's how you create that. And then you just put the roof on. You can look at the dimensions from the floor plan. To put the posts in is pretty simple, so you can go back to your top of parapet. If I zoom out, or actually sorry, top of plate, and if I zoom out and I go to wireframe here, right, I should be able to get in there and kind of see where those other, like I can pick that, and if I come in here and select all instances visible in view, then I can isolate those, right? And so there's the posts, and so I can go in and I can, the posts that we want are, I believe, these guys right here, not that one, so these guys. And then you would just go in and, and create a structural column and edit type and duplicate that 4x4 and make a 4x6, right, and make this 5 and click OK, and then you've got that. And then you can come in and I think these guys are going to be right there, right, and then I'll pick this guy and just copy it from there to there, there, to there, to there, and then let's move this one over, and then copy it from there to there to there. And then if I reset my temporary head isolate, or actually let's go ahead and pick these and select all instances, an entire project. And we want that base level to be, let's do top of plate, and then for the top level we want that to be bottom of roof, right? And then I'll reset my temporary height isolate here, right, and you'll see those guys sitting kind of almost exactly in the wall. You'll have to make sure they're lined up. Let's double check. We'll look at this section. Right, so these guys do not look like they are gyp, but so got a gypsum wallboard ephes. Yeah, so that's correct. So this guy looks like it's a little off, so let me align it right with that. And then these need to be brought up to the top of the roof right there, and you'll have to do that to the other side, right? And then you're pretty much done except for the roof, right? And this guy's in the wrong place, but that's because I didn't put it in the correct size. But you just need to go in and adjust those, and that should work.